Bob Huggins, and man, this is one of those stories that really is
unfortunate.
Yeah, just kind of just BS too. Like we put people on a pedestal, right? Like you're supposed to be this leader of people and lead by. And I know everybody makes mistakes. Look, we've all been there. We've all done some stupid stuff, but I didn't like the idea that he got to resign. I feel like this is a situation where he should have been fired, in my opinion, and he honestly should have been fired for the first incident that led up to this, but he wasn't. And I understand where Ren Baker, the AD's coming from on that, but I think when we were heading into this season, if you're talking about West Virginia coaches on the hot seat, it was a little more so Neil Brown, right?
Okay, I'm glad you're bringing this back to a little more lighthearted of a stance, because, dear Lord, I had a funny question to ask you, and you just took it straight to the, he should have been fired.
Well, go ahead. Ask me your funny question.
Who's a better driver, Bob Huggins or Jim Boeheim?
Ooh. Well, look, Huggins tried to run from the cops, so I give him that. I definitely give him that one.
Emery, tell me that was a funny question, please.
It's up there.
It was
okay.
It was good. It was good. No, he look, dude. This is just a weird situation. It's
no, back to getting more serious. I don't necessarily agree with you on he should have been fired after the first one, and I definitely don't agree with you on the fired versus resigned, because at that point it's a money issue. Yeah. You know how much more they would have had to pay Huggins, a man who not only said what he said, but did what he did? You do not want to be in the position, if you can help it, to be paying that man money because you fired him. Even you have to go through the legal process of showing it's for cause, and it's just a lot simpler for everyone if he resigns in disgrace, because he resigned in disgrace. That's the thing. It's not, he resigned, he did what was right. No, he had to. He was forced to. I don't think there's any, everyone knows it was fired or resigned in disgrace, and everyone knows it was in disgrace. But it's just, the whole thing is, it's really sad. I mean, I believe it's been reported that he didn't necessarily know what city he was in.
How do you not know you're in Pittsburgh? He
had a bunch of, a bag of beer, empty beer cans in the back seat.
Oh, no, wait, but he's a recycling man, according to his daughter.
Even if he is, the breathalyzer, he blew a what, 0.21?
Yeah, just something stupid.
0.21 or something
Here's my thing, dude,
there's no way to gussy this up.
No, but going back to the money thing, right? So if you have all this damn money, why can't you have somebody drive you around? There's plenty of coaches. There are plenty of people.
Craig was saying it the last couple of days on 365 Sports. He was like, you have this much money, even if you think booze cruising is fun, have someone else drive you. It'll be more fun.
Bro, I would have a limo and like a party limo, right? You just roll around and he can hang out the sunroof, shirtless,
dude, it's
whatever
West
he wants
Virginia,
to do.
party Jeep.
Party Jeep. We get him a party Jeep. Give him one of those couches in the back that they can set on fire.
I don't know why I'm trying to laugh as much about this.
No, but here's the thing. My first thought when this happened was the black eye for the conference. And what I mean is, think about preseason, right? When they were up in New York and Brett Yormark had him and Scott Drew there, and they're supposed to be representing the conference and the league, and then you have this crap unfold. It's just, to me, it's a bad look. It's terrible.
Bear. He's this grizzled old coach that you're always told has a heart of gold, and does this philanthropic work on top of being a good coach, and the players truly care about him, and all of that can still be true. But he just undercut so much of it. Yes, that's all still there, but we see more of a complete picture of who he is now. And it's sad because of how much he could have been on a pedestal.
Well, it's also this isn't the first time, right? This is almost identical to what happened when he was at Cincinnati. He had a DUI, he had a bunch of off-the-court issues, and it was a terrible situation that unfolded. And when I see people do this, there's no way this is the first time, right? You've been doing this. You just finally got caught.
There were definitely rumors on Twitter at the very least of this might not have happened if it was in Morgantown. If he was pulled over in Morgantown, it would have been
it'd been come on, Bob.
Come on, Bob. We're getting you home safe. Don't do this again. But, I don't think this is the final word on Huggins and like who he is and what he is as a human being. I think it's a very damning chapter, but hopefully it can be a wake-up call for him.
I guess.
I don't think you're ever too old for a wake-up call as long as you can hear it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it's like when you're still living like it's the 60s and you're posted up at the bar. Like, no, and I grew up in you go back and you look at Bob Huggins, his whole thing is that small town. And look, I come from a small town of toxicity and where alcoholism and stuff is just second nature, right? Like you grow up in it and it's the cool thing. And it's really messed up. And if you don't understand it, you see no wrong in it. And that's the crazy part. But at the same time, dude, like when you're on when you have this platform, you've got to be more aware of it. And I just feel like that's the most damning part of it. Like I had a coach in high school who got fired because he kept getting drunk in his front yard and passing out. Jeez. Like, I mean, this is nothing new. It's just, I don't know, man. Like I just have a real weird perspective on this because I've seen so much damage from people doing this to our lives and multiple people getting killed because of it. So it just doesn't sit well with me.
I'm not trying to discount that.
No, I'm just saying, like so that's where I come from with it. Like, and I'm not going to sit here and say I've never done it. Hell yeah, I have. I was in my 20s, ignorant, stupid. Like it happens, but at some point in time, you've got to put your perspectives in order. And hopefully that's what he can do. Hopefully he can bounce back and kind of learn from this. But at the same time, dude, like if you can't, then you seriously need some help. And I mean, it's just it's a catch-22, man. It's really weird. But who do you think, like right now, he's out?
Yep.
What do you do as far as a replacement? Like, because I saw there's an article out there about.
It's too late in the cycle. Like, do you go interim or
not?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there was an article out there saying like there was a couple of guys on the staff that they would like, but and realistically, my first thought was, would you try to come get somebody off the Baylor staff? Because there's a good track record there of them being successful. Where do you think they go with that?
I think that it's tough because I do feel like interims can be a trap.
Yeah.
Like, we're about to see if Rodney Terry can do this on his own.
Yeah.
And that's why I'd be hesitant to not truly hire someone right now, because you get an interim guy in, stuff maybe goes the right direction just because guys are able to like be galvanized by people being against them and by the news and like having to really be that much tighter of a team because of it.
Yeah.
It could go the other way. Half the time it does, honestly. But I don't want to flip a coin with an interim and be like, it's all circumstantial around you. It's not so much about how good of a coach you are, how good of a recruiter you are. And also going through a whole recruiting cycle of like, we don't know who your coach next year is going to be. I think that'd be really tough.
Yeah, that's a tricky part.
So as much as I think it just like, it makes sense right off the bat, it feels like it makes sense. Go interim. Like you're not going to get the top level guy you want to get. I think you might have to accept that like you need to take a chance and pull someone away from a team right now and just accept that you don't have the full pool available.
Do you also think this is a situation where like you see the program take a step back, or do you see a rally cry where it's like one of those win one for the Gipper type things this year? Because I see a lot of people like Marquise Noel, like he was out there talking about how much he was at camps with Huggy Bear, and you know how much, and a lot of people feel that way. And I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to shit on the guy like for his personality. He made a terrible decision.
He's got some problems.
So, but like, I could see them really using this as like a rally cry. What are your thoughts on that next year?
I think it can be a rally cry, but by the second half of Big 12 play, we're going to know who they are.
Over.
Like, I know there's not going to be true halves this year like usual because rip the round robin. Best thing ever. But I think you can only be galvanized for so long. I think it runs out. I think that you saw it with Kansas State. They dealt with a big dip there in the middle of conference play. They're a great team, great coach, great talent. But like even the teams that know who they are, what they are, have their guys, can still have a dip. I think that if you are running on that much emotion, that much like them against us. We love Huggy Bear. Like we're doing this for him. It's going to run out. It might come back around like it did for Kansas State, but it's going to run out quicker and it's going to be tougher to bring back. So I think I just don't. They could make the tournament. Yeah. They really could, especially out of the best league in the nation. It's like they don't have to win a lot of games, but I worry about trying to sustain something like that over the course of a whole basketball season. It's
going to be interesting, man. And I think it would be so hilarious, like with the whole thing that unfolded with the Xavier. If you brought in Sean Miller to be his replacement, I think that would be funny. But, we'll see. West Virginia is obviously in the best basketball conference. They have a lot of tradition there. So it's a job people will want to take. But, wish them the best of luck in their search. It's always fun to watch them on the court. But, yeah, man, it's just one of those stories that just is mind-boggling, to say the least. But, yeah, that's where I'm at with that.